नमस्कार। आज का जो टॉपिक है वो है सब स्पेसेज एंड क्वोशिएंट स्पेसेज ऑफ बार्नाक स्पेस। तो ये मैथमेटिक्स एमएससी मैथ्स थर्ड सेमेस्टर के हिसाब से है, फंक्शनल एनालिसिस 3C1 का पार्ट है। तो सब स्पेसेज एंड क्वोशिएंट स्पेसेज ऑफ बार्नाक स्पेसेज, तो इसके लिए विद्यार्थियों को नॉर्म लीनियर स्पेस, बार्नाक स्पेस, मैट्रिक स्पेसेज की जानकारी होना आवश्यक है। उसके बाद ये अच्छी तरह से समझ में आएगा। तो सबसे पहले वी आर डिफाइनिंग द एलिमेंट्री डेफिनेशंस। तो वो इस तरह से हैं कि सबस्पेस a non-subspace, a non-empty subset M of a linear space L is a linear subspace of L if and only if for x belongs to M and y belongs to M implies x plus y belongs to M and x belongs to M and alpha any scalar, this implies alpha x belongs to M. If these two conditions satisfied, then we say that this M is a linear subspace. Or equivalently, these two conditions combined in one, if alpha xy belongs to M and alpha beta are scalars, then alpha x plus beta y belongs to M, then this is called a subspace of L. So here a subspace of L is said to be proper if it is not all of L and the set consisting of null vector 0 only is a subspace, null space, and is denoted by 0. Next we define the coset. Let M be the subspace of a linear space L, then for any x belongs to M, the set x plus M, we are defining the set x plus M defined as follows. This denoted by x plus M or equal to bracket x equal to x plus M such that M belongs to M. Here M is the subspace and we vary this M over whole M. Such type of set is known as a coset. So this is called a coset of M determined by x, and thus x bracket x or x plus M is the set of all sums of x and the elements of M. So this is the known as coset. Based on this coset, now we define the quotient space. So in the quotient space, let L by M denote the set of all cosets of M. So the all cosets generated by M, so we denote this set by L by M in a linear space L, and here we define the addition and scalar multiplication in L by M by this one, that x plus M plus y plus M बराबर equal to x plus y plus M and alpha into x plus M equal to alpha x plus M. So in this set L by M we are defining the two operations, addition and scalar. So it is a routine matter to show that L by M becomes a linear space, and under these operations the zero element of L by M is 0 plus M equal to 0. The linear space L by M is called the quotient space of L modulo M. Such type of space is known as quotient space of L modulo M. Again here the definition of a mapping, the mapping phi of L onto L by M denoted by phi x equal to, defined by phi x equal to x plus M, is called the canonical mapping of L onto L by M. So this is the quotient space. Or to study its property, our next theorem shows that if L is a norm linear space and the linear manifold M is closed, then L by N can be made into a norm linear space. So we see this theorem, that let M be a closed linear manifold or subspace in a norm linear space N, and for each coset x plus m in the quotient space n by m, we are defining this type of function, norm function, that norm x plus m equal to infimum of the norm x plus m such that m belongs to m. So in the quotient space n by m we are defining the norm. So then we have to prove that then norm x plus m is a norm on n by m, and thus n by m is a norm linear space, and further if n is a Banach space then so is n by m. So this quotient space when become a norm linear space and when become a Banach space under in this theorem we will see. So first we verify using the condition that n is the norm linear space, that we verify all the postulates for a norm in the for n by m. So the first property of n condition n1, since x norm x plus m is a non-negative real quantity, real number, and the every set of non-negative real numbers is bounded below, it follows that infimum of the norm x plus m belongs to m exists and is non-negative. So therefore norm of the x plus m is greater and equal to 0 for all x plus m belongs to n by m. The second condition for the norm is that if let x plus m equal to m the zero element of n by m, then value of norm x plus m equal to infimum x plus m belongs to m by definition, and therefore this m also belongs here, x also belongs here m, therefore m plus x plus m, here m small m, we can write this as y, and this y belongs to m because m being a subspace contains the zero vector norm is, and norm is a real number 0, therefore we obtained here x plus m equal to m implies norm of the x plus m equal to 0. So next we see its converse part, that if x plus norm x plus m equal to 0, then we will see that infimum norm x plus m for all m belongs to m equal to 0, therefore there exists a sequence mk in m such that norm of the x plus m k tends to 0 as k tends to infinity. So in this way we see that the limit of the mk as k tends to infinity equal to minus x, and therefore minus x belongs to m, since m is the closed set and mk is a sequence in m converging to minus x. So therefore x belongs to m, and then x plus m equal to m, the zero element of the n by m. So thus we have shown the second condition, that if x plus m equal to 0 norm, then x plus m equal to m. Now we see the third condition, let x plus of the norm, let x plus m belong and y plus m belongs to n by m, then norm of the x plus m plus y plus m equal to norm of the x plus y plus m by the definition of addition of the cosets, and this by definition of the norm infimum norm x plus y plus m where m belongs to m. So this m we can here adding m dash element because m and m dash belongs to m, so we can write this as norm x plus y plus m dash. Here we have replaced m by m plus m dash. So because m is a subspace, the sets in 2 and 3 are the same. So we apply here bracketing norm x plus m plus norm y plus m dash, and now apply the norm condition in n3 in for n, then this is will be less this is less and equal to infimum norm x plus m plus norm y plus m dash for all m plus m dash belongs to m. Then this is equal to, after simplifying, this will become norm x plus m plus norm y plus m. So this is the third condition. Now the last condition for the norm, that norm alpha into x plus m equal to, by definition, infimum of the norm alpha into x plus m for all m belongs to m. This is equal to infimum modulus alpha into norm x plus m by the n for n. Then we take here modulus alpha outside, so this will become that equal to modulus alpha into norm x plus m. So we have satisfied all four conditions of the norm. Therefore this n by m is a norm linear space. So the next we show that n is complete if, so if we know prove that if n is complete, then so is n by m. And for proving n by m complete, we are considering a Cauchy sequence. So for the completeness, we have to prove that every Cauchy sequence is a convergent sequence. Then we can prove that this is n by m is complete. So we are considering here Cauchy sequence in n by m. So let Sn plus m be a Cauchy sequence in n by m, so that their Sn belongs to n. We construct a convergent subsequence of this sequence as follows. Since Sn plus m is a Cauchy sequence, therefore for epsilon equal to 1 by 2, there exists a positive integer n1 such that for all nm greater and equal to n1, this implies norm of the Sn plus m plus s minus sm plus m is less than epsilon is less than 1 by 2. Here we have chosen epsilon equal to 1 by 2. So now we set here that denote here as n1 equal to x1 belongs to n. Here we choose this, set this element as n1 as x1 and x1 belongs to n. So next we consider epsilon equal to 1 by 2 square, and therefore for this epsilon also there exists a positive integer choosing n2 greater than n1 such that n for all nm greater than equal to n2, this implies norm of the Sn plus m minus sm plus m is less and equal to 1 by 2 square. So similarly before we set Sn2 equal to x2 belongs to n. In general we are choosing x1 x2 and so on xk, and n1 n2 nk, and here nk plus 1 is greater than nk such that for all nm greater than nk plus 1 implies Sn plus m minus sm plus m is less than 1 by 2 power k plus 1. So here also we can set here Sn k plus 1 equal to xk plus 1. So in this way we have chosen a sequence xk such that xk plus m of Sn subsequence xk plus m of Sn plus m such that norm of the xk plus 1 m minus xk plus m is less than 1 by 2 power k. So now it will now be shown that this subsequence converges to an element of n by m. So here we begin by choosing any vector y1 in x1 plus m. After choosing y1, we select the y2 belongings to x2 plus m such that norm of the y1 minus y2 is less than 1 by 2. This is possible since for y1 belonging to x1 plus m for some m, and x norm of the x1 plus m minus x2 plus m is less than 1 by 2. Therefore, infimum of the x1 minus x2 plus m for all m belongs to m is less than 1 by 2. So therefore, there exists an m0 belongs to m such that norm of the x1 minus x2 plus m0 less than 1 by 2. So this is norm y minus y2 is less than 1 by 2 by choosing y2 equal to x2 minus m0 plus m1 belongs to x2 plus m. So similarly, we select y3 in x3 plus m such that norm of the y2 minus y3 is less than 1 by 2 whole square. Continuing in this manner, we get a sequence in n such that norm of the yn minus yn plus 1 is less than 1 by 2 power n. So we claim that here that yn is a Cauchy sequence in n. So for if epsilon greater than 0 be given, we can choose a positive integer m0 so large that 1 by 2 m power 1 by 2 power m0 minus 1 is less than epsilon. For any epsilon, we are choosing here m0 so large that 1 upon 2 power m0 minus 1 is less than epsilon. Then for n greater than m and greater and equal to m0, we are having the value of the ym minus yn. Here we open here ym minus yn as ym minus ym plus 1 plus ym plus 1 minus ym plus 2 and so on plus yn minus 1 yn norm. So applying the property of the norm, we are having here we have applied the property of the norm, and so putting the value of this less than I equal to m2 n minus 1 1 by 2 power I and by 4, and therefore this is less than I equal to m2 infinity 1 by 2 power I, and this is become 1 by using the property of geometric progression GP sum 1 by 2 power m upon 1 minus 1 by 2. So this is less than equal to 1 by 2 power m0 minus 1 is less than epsilon. Therefore, for epsilon we have obtained m0 such that for all greater m and n greater than m0 we obtained this norm as less than epsilon. Hence myn is a Cauchy sequence n, and since n is complete, therefore there exists a vector y in n such that yn tends to y. So here this n yn is a Cauchy sequence and this is convergent sequence such that yn tends to y. Finally, we prove that xn plus m tends to y plus m for belongs to n by m. So we are having here norm of the xn plus m minus y plus m equal to norm of the xn minus y plus m, and this by definition infimum of the norm of the xn minus y plus m for all m belongs to m, and this is xn plus m norm xn plus m minus y for all m belongs to m. Since yn, the value of yn is xn plus mn for some mn belongs to m, we conclude that xn plus m minus y plus m is less and equal to norm yn minus y, and this tends to 0 since yn tends to y. Hence xn plus m tends to y plus m belongs to n by m, and consequently n by m is complete. So we have considered here Cauchy sequence and proved that this is a convergent sequence, therefore n by m is a complete. So in this way this is become a complete. So next we see some examples on these theorems using this property. The first example is let n be a non-zero norm linear space and let S be the set such that x belongs to n such that norm of the x is less than equal to m1 be a linear subspace of n. Then prove that n is a Banach space implies and is implies that S is complete. Here S is the set of such elements whose norm is less than 1, and we have to prove here that n is a Banach space if and only if S is complete. So we see here the solution. That first assume that n is a Banach space and let xn be a Cauchy sequence in n, so that norm of the xn is less than 1, less than equal to 1 for every n, and since S is a subset of the n, so xn is also a Cauchy sequence in n, and since n is complete, so there exists x belongs to n such that norm xn tends to x, and since norm is a continuous function, therefore as xn tends to x implies norm of the xn tends to norm of the x, and thus therefore norm of the x equal to limit n tends to infinity norm of the xn is less than 1. So it follows that x belongs to S, and so S is the complete. So we have considered here Cauchy sequence in n S, and we have proved that this is a convergent sequence, therefore S is complete. So next we see its converse part. So for the converse, let S be complete, and we have to show that n is a Banach space. So here, since n is a non-linear space, we need only to prove that n is complete, that is let yn be a Cauchy sequence in n. Yes. Then by norm of the ym minus yn tends to 0 is mn tends to infinity. So here ym and yn are non-zero, so we are defining new sequence choosing xn equal to yn upon norm yn. Then norm of the xn it become 1, and so this xn belongs to S. So using this sequence yn, we are transforming a relatively sequence in S. So and since we shall show that xn is a Cauchy sequence in S, so we are calculating the value of the norm xm minus xn. So the x by setting, as we have said xm equal to ym upon norm ym minus yn upon norm yn. So adding here and subtracting this term yn upon norm m plus yn upon norm m, and calculating this, we obtained this is the twice norm of the ym minus yn upon norm of the ym, and this tends to 0 as mn tends to infinity. So this is the Cauchy sequence, and this xn is a Cauchy sequence in S, and since S is complete, therefore there exists x belongs to S such that xn tends to x, that is norm of the yn upon norm of the yn tends to x, and also norm yn minus norm ym is less than norm yn minus ym tends to 0 by 1, and so the norm yn is a Cauchy sequence of real number, and since R is complete, therefore this norm yn also tends to a fixed quantity alpha belongs to R, and consequently by 2 we have yn tends to alpha x belongs to n, and hence n is complete since we have started from yn as a Cauchy sequence and proved that there exists its limit alpha x belongs to n, therefore this n is complete. So next we see the second example. Let n be a norm linear space and M be a subspace of n, then the closure m bar of M is also a subspace of n. Here we are considering M as a subspace of n, and then we have to prove that closure m bar of M is also a subspace of n. So in order that M bar be a subspace of n, we must show that any linear combination of elements in M bar is again in M bar. So since every point of M bar is an adherent point of M, so for each x belongs to M and each epsilon greater than 0, there exists an open space such that y norm y minus x is less than epsilon must contain a point of M. Hence, for any element to be in M bar, it suffices to show that for any epsilon greater than 0, there is some element of M which is within the epsilon distance from it. So let epsilon greater than 0 be given and let xy be any two elements in M bar, and consider the linear combination alpha x plus beta y, where alpha beta are non-zero scalars. So if this alpha and beta are 0, then this will become 0 and 0 is the element of M, so this belongs to M bar. So we consider here alpha and beta is non-zero. Next, since xy are in M bar as remarked above, there exists the element x1 y1 in M such that norm of the x minus x1 is less than epsilon by 2 modulus alpha, and norm of the y minus y1 is less than epsilon upon 2 beta. So using these conditions of calculating the value of the norm alpha x plus beta y minus alpha x1 plus beta y1, here we are having the norm. Here the symbol of the norm left. So after calculating this we obtained here that this difference, the value of norm is less than epsilon. So, and since alpha x1 plus beta y1 belongs to M, so M, because M being a subspace, we conclude that is a subspace, therefore alpha x1 plus beta y1 belongs to M, and in this way we obtained here alpha x plus beta y belongs to M bar, and consequently M bar is a subspace. So we have proved here the linear combination of two elements of M bar in M bar, therefore this is a subspace. So next we see the last example, third one, that in a normed linear space the smallest closed subspace containing a given set of vectors is just the closure of the subspace spanned by that set. So here that the smallest closed subspace containing a given set of vectors is just the closure of the subspace spanned by the set. So here we see the proof. Let S be a subset of a normed linear space N, and let M be the smallest closed subspace of N containing S. Then we have to show that M equal to S bar, where S denotes the subspace spanned by the S. By the previous example, S bar is a closed subspace of N and it contains S, but M is the smallest closed subspace containing M. So here let S be a subset of the normed linear space N, and let M be the smallest closed subspace of N containing N. Here we have to show that M equal to S bar, where bracket S denotes the subspace spanned by S. By the previous example, S bar is a closed subspace of N and it contains S, but here we have given that M is the smallest closed subspace containing S, and so M is the subset of the S bar. So but S bracket S is subset of the M, which implies S bar bracket is subset of the M bar, and hence M equal to S bar. So the closure of the subspace generated is the smallest closed subspace of this here. So this is the proof. So Here for the details and more examples you can see any reference books for the detail. So I am Dr. R.P. Somani, Associate Professor in Maths. Thank you. धन्यवाद.